With the crypto market heating up and we get closer and closer to the end of the bull run, it becomes harder and harder to find altcoins that have the 10x potential. In this video, I'm going to go through a few altcoins that we still feel have that 10x potential and why you might want to do some more research on these projects. Guys, as we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. Really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right. With all that said, done, and out of the way, let's jump on down to the desktop and actually take a look at these altcoins that I still feel have 10x potential. Okay, guys, so we're going to start things off with the obvious, okay? And for that, we are going to jump over to XRP. Now, XRP currently has a current price of $1.08. So for a 10x, we are talking about this particular coin going up to $10. Now, there's a couple of caveats with this one, obviously. For XRP to be considered, to go to 10x, we first of all really need to understand whether or not that lawsuit between Ripple and the SEC is likely to finish before the end of the bull run. So if for us to actually see this thing spike up above $10, we really do want to see that lawsuit either get, completely put to bed in some shape or form. This could be that there's a settlement between Ripple and the SEC. This could be that Ripple lose. Okay, that's also a possibility. And if so, I still expect the price to surge. It could also be that Ripple win. And again, I imagine the price will surge in that scenario as well. Ultimately, I don't think it generally matters too much whether or not it's a win, lose, or settlement. It does for the crypto space as a whole, but I think there's going to be a short-term push and pump for XRP regardless to whatever the outcome is. This can, of course, be acknowledged when you take a look at things like the kin token, KIC Interactive, where that price just spikes even after it is classified as a security. I don't think XRP will be classified as a security. I think it just isn't going to happen. It's very, very unlikely. The US would be the only country in the world where that would be the case, and I simply cannot see how they could do the justification to call it a security today. Okay, so they might be able to go and sue Ripple for past sales of XRP, classifying those past sales as security-related sales, but I cannot see the token actually being classified as a security. So for me, I do think once that lawsuit is done, we are going to see this particular project 10x from its current position. So it's a nice, obvious one. We won't go into too much detail on it, on technical analysis. If, of course, the lawsuit doesn't come in before the end of the bull run, then based on current performance, we kind of see this thing actually shorting that area and maybe coming in at just a 6x. Okay, so we would be falling short of a 10x potential if that lawsuit isn't finished before the end of the bull run. Okay, so that's your obvious kind of first obvious one out of the way, right? And the next kind of semi-obvious comes in the shape of XLM. Okay, on a very similar note, the sister, if you will, to XRP, same co-founder, 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗓, founded XLM, and again, this one is currently trading at 34.8 cents. Okay, and this is an interesting coin. Okay, it's doing a reasonable amount in the space. Now, again, this would actually potentially come in if we actually go to our weekly chart here, and we take a look at the all-time high and bear market low scenario. We can see this thing actually topping out at $3.88. Based on the current trends, it's $3.33. So again, this is around that 10x potential. It's like 9 point something or just over 10x, okay, from the trends that we've seen in the bull run so far and the all-time high and bear market low scenario. Okay, now from an XLM perspective, this particular project back in 2017-2018 was one of the last ones to absolutely go parabolic towards the end of the bull run. And as a result of that, you saw it basically move rapidly from a very, very cheap price to 90-something cents. So again, I am expecting XLM to do incredibly well, but it is going to be one that performs well later in the season. As the kind of bull run comes to a bit of a close, this will probably be one of the last ones to go. And there is still potential here for around that 10x based on the trends of the bull run so far. So again, nothing kind of unusual with this one. Again, something that I think many people are aware of Stellar Lumens, and what kind of things that they're doing. They're also taking a little bit of business away from XRP and the things that they're doing. So one to watch out for. Definitely do some more research on XLM. They're doing a lot of work in Africa, and we also know lots of other players in the space are also doing a lot of fantastic work in Africa as well. So that's the second one. Now we're going to go into the less obvious coins, okay, for 10x. So the next one we want to talk about is Multivac. Now, Multivac is again a relatively new, but it's been around since I think 2017, 18, or 19. It's been around for a little while. But its mainnet only went live a few months ago. It's also had staking go live a few months ago, and it's just launched its NFT platform. Okay, it's kind of got a lot going on in 2021, and hence you've seen a huge price spike and some pretty good potential so far. Now, this is currently trading at 1.8 cent. Now, if we actually take a look at this from a kind of perspective of, all-time high or previous all-time high bear market low, we can see it going up to about 10 cent. Okay, so that's just a 5x. We can also see that on the current climate, or the current kind of pullback that we had from wave 3 to wave 4, this is showing 7.2 cent. If we take a look at the trends so far of the bull run, we can see 7.9 cent. So these are not 10x potentials. However, with everything that's been going on with the fundamental side of Multivac here, we have a really, really small circulating supply. So we'll jump back over to CoinMarketCap here, and we'll actually just come over to Multivac, and we can see that the circulating supply is 3.72 billion. Okay, there's a total supply of 10 billion, but the circulating supply, that is verified data, is 3.72 billion. Now, this is an interesting number because over 3.3 billion is delegated and staked, meaning that there's only about, what's that, 400? Yeah, I'm going to say 400 million MTV actually out there in circulating supply on exchanges in wallets that has not been staked or delegated to. This is a significant squeeze on the overall supply because it takes 7 days to remove it from the staking element to put it back into a wallet for you to even consider selling. So then there's a 7-day delay. So we know that there's a huge squeeze on the supply. Okay, and basically what I'm kind of speculating at this point as to why I still feel there's a 10x in this is it wouldn't take much now to actually move that needle significantly to the upside. It would not take a lot of money to flow into Multivac to see this needle push the price of MTV all the way up to, some really fantastic heights. Now, we're talking about just pushing it up to 18.4 cent, and I think that is an easy target for MTV under these kind of circumstances. I wouldn't be too surprised if this thing doesn't spike up to about 30 or so cent during the last legs of this bull run. This project is something that I think a lot of people are going to want to do some research on. It is all about multidimensional sharding. It is looking to launch its smart contracts soon, which will mean that we'll start seeing some dApps launch on the ecosystem. And if you want to see scalability redefined, as they say, or are thinking about Ethereum 2.0, then ultimately Ethereum 2.0 is already here. It's called Multivac, so do watch out for that one. And do some research on this altcoin. This one I think is going to surprise people in the latter part of this bull run as it continues to grow in value. Okay, so that's the first 3 out of the way. The next one I want to talk about is 𝗕𝗘𝗪. Now, 𝗕𝗘𝗪 is a project that I know a lot of people can call it all sorts of various different names under the sun. With that being said, though, there is some interesting trends going on here in the bull run. We are currently trading at 9.1 cent for 𝗕𝗘𝗪, and this is, and I am expecting, along with Matt, the CEO of advice.io, to see a huge price spike with 𝗕𝗘𝗪. We can see the trends of this particular bull run taking it up to $1.07, so just over 10x on its current position. I do expect this thing to perform quite well towards the latter end of the year and beginning of 2022, and we're going to start seeing some interesting kind of price discovery for this particular token. Again, this is a peer-reviewed smart contract sharded platform. Okay, basically it's got quite a few things being built on it. And again, it doesn't really get an awful lot of attention, but it should really. There's a lot of NFT platforms that are operating on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. There's a whole host of different use cases that are out there with this platform as well. So again, if you're not familiar or haven't done a lot of research on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧, you should probably go ahead and do your own research and dive into this particular altcoin. There is 10x potential here based on the trends of the bull run of what we've seen so far, and the expectation is to see this thing nicely spike just above that $1 level. Okay, so that is 4 altcoins. The last one I want to kind of go through, guys, or there's actually 2 more I want to go through that have some serious potential. The first one, or the 5th one already, I should say, that we want to talk about here is going to be Singularity Down. Now, Singularity Down has some really good potential. It is a new altcoin, but it's an altcoin that has serious potential. Okay, if we actually take this, let me actually just grab hold of this for a second. We can see that basically we launched up here in July. We've only got 133 days worth of data, but we can of course see an interesting spike that we had up here and a pullback. Okay, now if we take the trends of this particular move here, this pullback here, this actually shows us moving out to $27.5 or $27.50. Currently trading at $22.12. There's a huge potential spike to even see a nice clean 10x here quite comfortably. Again, I still expect this to actually continue a bit of a growth to the upside, where we could see some fantastically high numbers achieved for 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪. Now, I'm not going to go into the world of speculation too much. But this particular project is a project that I think retail investors are going to want to know about. It is basically DeFi using artificial intelligence. It allows you to basically delegate and stake into yield farming pools, or what they actually call dynasets and things like this. There's a launch pad associated with it. The most exciting part of this particular project for me are the dynasets. The dynasets allow you to basically invest in a series of different cryptocurrencies, but the artificial intelligence is in control of the portfolio of the dynaset, and it will rebalance the portfolio based on the things it finds inside the data. And now this is the artificial intelligence of Singularity Net. Okay, now Singularity Net is founded by Dr. Ben Goertzel, and obviously so many fantastic things that he has created from an artificial intelligence perspective. This is a spin-off from Singularity Net and uses the same artificial intelligence. Now, that artificial intelligence is absolutely remarkable. You have to do a lot of research on this one to really fully understand exactly what's going on there. But there's huge potential, and this is a potential or a project that has huge potential for retail investors. It balances the playing field, and because institutions, whales, etc., they'll be using artificial intelligence to their advantage already, whereas us retail investors, we are not. We're basically relying on various different YouTubers doing charting, looking at different things, and maybe you're dabbling around with your own charts. Maybe you're investing just on fundamentals and not the technicals, and maybe you're doing both, right? But it's hard to keep up with so many coins as well. That artificial intelligence will do a better job than a human can do in terms of understanding what is going on with the underlying data, and that is where this 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪 and Singularity DAO comes in, because this basically allows you to have a level playing field. You can invest in the dynaset and let the AI manage the portfolio of the dynaset. So this is something I do think is going to have huge potential in the future. And I do think this is a nice, easy 10x in this particular bull run as well. So one to watch out for. Lots going on, lots of research that you must do on this one. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. Chris is not a financial advisor. So it is important that you do your own research. Okay. Now, the last coin I want to talk about is this one. And this particular project is 𝗖𝗨. Okay, and 𝗖𝗨 is a project that I think has some serious potential. It's something that I think is very much needed for pretty much mass adoption of the crypto space. Or it doesn't even necessarily have to be 𝗖𝗨 if I'm being brutally honest, right? It needs to be what 𝗖𝗨 are offering. The use case of 𝗖𝗨 is what I think the world needs for mass adoption. Now, 𝗖𝗨 might not be the one that eventually succeeds, but I do think that 𝗖𝗨 has some pretty good potential in this particular bull run and could have potential in the future unless a bigger player in the space actually decides to take it on board and actually tries to also do the very similar kind of use case. Now, 𝗖𝗨 is all about communication. It's about using encryption to send messages to your friends and your family, fully encrypted, so you don't have to worry about privacy-related issues. Now, for those people who are using WhatsApp, for example, WhatsApp is obviously owned by Facebook, and all that data is basically just sold to advertisers to sell stuff to you, okay, and basically put things under your nose, and basically make you buy things that you just probably don't even need, right? If we're being brutally honest. And that is a huge problem, specifically when we're in the crypto space and we understand, that data is very important. And basically, you've got players like Facebook just completely ripping us off constantly, right? Selling our data to their own gain. Now, what you get here with Silo is the same kind of technology that is utilized with Signal, which is an end-to-end encrypted messaging service. So basically, you're able to fully communicate via instant messaging using the Silo app. Okay, and it goes a little bit further above and beyond just this, because it's also a wallet that basically holds all your crypto assets, which means you can send cryptocurrency to your friends and family using their phone numbers and in your contacts. It's very, very quick, very, very simple. And this is the kind of thing that I think is very much needed in this space if we want to see the mass adoption, right? So above and beyond use case here, we can obviously see there is some pretty good price appreciation as well. We are currently trading at 6.5 cents at the point of recording this video, and we can see this thing based on the trends of the bull run going up to about 6.4 cents. Okay, that basically brings in just short of that 10x potential. So again, I do think this is a project that has true potential, not just for price speculation for this particular bull run, but also that's going to help bring mass adoption to the crypto space as a whole by making it incredibly easy to actually send and receive cryptocurrency from your friends and family. Okay, and this is all handled in an end-to-end encrypted messaging protocol called Silo. So guys, those are the altcoins that I have picked out that still have 10x potential. To find anything above and beyond 10x really is difficult. It's going to be hard to come by, and they are truly hidden gems at this point in the bull run. But for me, there are a handful of coins that do have that 10x potential. Guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, then do hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Right, with this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.